Hello everybody and welcome back. This is Kim. I was just out on a little foraging expedition and I will be posting that video. It takes a lot longer to upload, but I found out a few years ago that Hosta, which many of us grow in our gardens, is completely edible. The leaves and the shoots are delicious. They taste sort of like a cross between a scallion and an asparagus type thing. Anyway, like I said, I picked a few in the previous video, and I'll show you what they look like. Right now they're just shoots. I have some that are larger. These are more of a purple color, but you make sure you identify them. I have lily of the valley in the area, but I know where my hostas are. I've eaten hosta before. I know where it's at. And then I found two little tiny fiddlehead ferns to add to it. So anyway, I also picked some raspberry leaves. If you like those celestial seasoning type teas, if you look at the ingredients, usually one of the first ingredients, at least on the ones I like, are raspberry or blackberry leaves. So what I'm going to do is just going to saute up while my raspberry leaves are steeping. I have them in some water because I'm going to make myself some tea. And I am going to cook up these little hosta shoots for lunch. I'm going to start with, you can use butter. I like ghee. I make my own ghee. And no, I don't have a video of that yet, but I will. Because it has a higher smoke point, it doesn't burn like, because you take the milk solids out, it won't burn. So I like to get it pretty hot. I like to kind of brown these up pretty well. And then I add a little garlic powder and some salt in, but I'm going to substitute salt a little bit, and I'll show you with what in just a little bit. So I'm going to let this get up pretty hot. I've got my heat up pretty high, so it should come up. This is my tiny little cast iron I bought years ago. I love my little tiny cast iron because the boys won't eat this stuff. They think I'm weird. And my other fern. I think I threw it in there already. Anyway, if, some people are going to go, ew, I would never eat that stuff. But if you went to a specialty market, it's called, I hope I pronounce this right, Urui, U-R-U-I. It's a vegetable that's sold around the world. It's sold in really fancy restaurants. And people eat this stuff. You can go in your yard and you can, give it a try. Try it. Take one time. If you don't like it, don't eat it again. That's the way I look at it. So I'm going to saute these up. I like them kind of brownish on the outside, and they're still, a little firm. I don't like my vegetables mushy at all. I can't stand it. So that's why I like my fire up a little hot. So I'm just going to take and put a little sprinkle of garlic powder in here. I don't want too much. I don't want to overpower them. Just a little sprinkle. And then at the end, I'm going to add me some bacon. I found a couple pieces of bacon left over in the refrigerator. Can you believe it? Leftover bacon, is that such a thing? But it is. So I'm going to tear up my little bacon and I'm going to toss it in here so it can warm up. I like to add, I know people who will sit down and they'll use like a whole pound. This is getting a little hot now. Like a whole pound of bacon for a meal. I use it more like a condiment because the flavor is so strong that, a little bit goes a long way. So I don't need, that was 2 slices. That's plenty for this little bit of hosta here. So as soon as that warms up, my hosta's browning just a little bit. I could have sauteed this in, olive oil or whatever. I like my ghee. Like I said, I can get it pretty smoking hot without it burning. And I can add some salt if I need it. For those who know me, I don't really like salty foods at all. So I don't put a lot of salt in my foods. But anyway, I was starting to tell you about the urui or hosta. You can eat the shoots. You can eat the stems. I'm not really fond of the leaves, but you could throw those, like when I start making my green superfood, I can powderize some of the leaves to put in there. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm gonna cough here. The Uri or Hosta is high in vitamin C. It's high in polysaccharides, which is an antioxidant type thing. It has a lot of phosphorus, very high in magnesium, has a lot of zinc, potassium, and iron. Now, it does depend on the species and all that, exactly the numbers, but, you know, they're pretty nutritious. And if you've ever grown hosta, you know they come back every year. They spread. You can divide them off. I've had this plant, I've had this plant growing in one of my yards for, wow, almost 40 years. And when I moved here, I just divided off and brought some pieces with me from, you know, my original plants. And they come in all kinds of colors. They come in all kinds of sizes. It's just a really cool plant. And to find out that, you know, it makes a great vegetable, what the heck, you know? It's great to have. Anyway, that's done. I'm going to go ahead and sit down with my cup of raspberry leaf tea that I am steeping currently. I'm going to flavor it, or sweeten it, I should say, with a little bit of my last year's dandelion jelly. And I'm going to sit down and eat me a great spring foraged meal. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Let me know if you give it a try sometime. I'd like to hear your comments.